Good evening, everybody. It's murder mystery time. Okay, not really, but today I'm here to share my thoughts on a movie that some of you may or may not have heard of before, or even knew it exists, or even knew it existed. And it's called Rising Sun. Now, like I said a few seconds ago, I assume that some of you never even heard of this movie or knew it existed. And trust me, I didn't know this movie exists either until now. And yes, before I started watching this movie, I did check out a few clips of this movie, even a trailer, to know what this is about. And I think I got a bit of information about it. But just in case I don't, there's always a description on the back of each VHS tape and DVD that I own. So sorry that I stuttered. Gritty, stylistic, and so sexy. The best picture of the year. Oh boy. Based on Michael Crichton's provocative bestseller, this smart, engrossing, and electrically charged thriller is a entertainment as it is thought-provoking. Sorry that I mispronounced a few words. As a Los Angeles special licensed officer, played by Wesley Snipes, is called in to investigate a murder of a call girl in the boardroom of a Japanese corporation. Accompanied by a detective with unusual knowledge of the Japanese culture, played by Sean Connery, the two men must unravel the mystery behind the murder by entertaining an underground shadow world of futuristic technology, ancient ways, and confusing royalties. So in a nutshell, these two detectives are trying to solve a wild and crazy Japanese-style murder mystery and try to get to the bottom of it and figure out who's the real killer behind all this. Now, what do I think about this movie? Even though I watched a few clips of it, even the trailer, and watched the full movie, and watched the full movie in general, oh my gosh, this was one wild movie. I mean, seriously. Okay, imagine Sherlock Holmes, Inspector Gadget, Scooby-Doo, James Bond, Indiana Jones, and Spy Kids and the Rocky Horror Picture Show got mixed into a blender and came out with this movie. And yes, I know it's weird to compare all 6 of those properties with this movie, but trust me, let everything I just said sink in. Oh man. I mean, this movie is really, really something. Great action scenes, a great murder mystery to follow, and there's just so many surprises to expect from this movie. And most of the time, I didn't even see it coming at all. And trust me, I mean, if you guys have watched this movie either on VHS and DVD, or saw it in the theaters back in 1993, or just catch it on TV, you guys would probably know what on earth I'm talking about. I mean, seriously, great characters, amazing action scenes, so many crazy surprises to expect, a great mystery to follow, and it just seems like a very phenomenal movie for everyone to enjoy. Now, I don't know too much about Wesley Snipes' career as an actor, but I am very familiar with Sean Connery. I know that he was the original James Bond, and I know he played Henry Jones Sr. in Indiana Jones 3: The Last Crusade. So at least I have some acknowledgement of this character. Of Sean Connery. And there's also another recognizable face. There's also sorry for the stuttering there. There's also another recognizable actor that I seem to remember, and that's Steve Buscemi being a reporter who's named Weasel. First, I didn't know that Steve Buscemi was in this movie, but I am familiar. Steve Buscemi is another actor I'm familiar with. He played Randall in Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. He guest starred as himself in Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. And he voiced Wayne the Werewolf in all 4 Hotel Transylvania movies in a row. And for some reason, I'm trying to remember what other movies he was in. Wait, I think he was some kind of. I think he voiced a banker in Disney's Home on the Range. Okay, and man, I can't think of any other TV and movie role he was in. I'm sure you guys can help me in the comments below. So yeah, Rising Sun is quite an interesting movie. And I'm surprised that Sean Connery plays a detective who really knows his Japanese history, right down to speaking perfect Japanese. I gotta admit, he's quite talented. I guess he must have took a language course back in college. I think he must have took like a language course during his high school and college days, or he must have went to Japan at one point to learn Japanese while being on vacation. Either one of those would make sense. There are some scenes. Sorry about the stuttering. There are some scenes in this movie that are a little bit, oh boy, let's just say they were a little bit risque and a bit, raunchy. Even more raunchy than the Blues Brothers or the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that's all I had to say. Oh boy. Again, if you guys have saw the movie at some point, you would probably know what the heck I'm talking about. Now, I don't know what the cast and crew behind this movie are still doing right now. Whether they're retired or probably working on other movies and shows and movies. And I think Sean Connery is probably already long dead, so let's just say that this one is dedicated to Sean Connery. I think Rising Sun is quite an interesting and fascinating murder mystery movie. You can really tell that a lot of people did their best to make this movie amazing. And it certainly is. Now, I'm not sure if there was like a video game adaptation of this movie. And I'm not sure if this movie had like a second or third film. But in my opinion, I think having this be a standalone movie is great. We don't need a sequel to this movie. But if they do plan on making a sequel at some point, which I highly doubt. It has to stay true to It has to stay true to this movie, and it should not retcon anything. I know that some of you are going to tell me that a sequel to this movie will never ever happen, which that is true. But sometimes we never fully know what to expect these days. If you know what I'm talking about. Oh boy. I don't like it when these two detectives are trying to get a chance to know each other perfectly despite their differences. Okay, maybe there isn't a big rivalry between these two, but still, I'm just saying. You know, that's it's kind of like watching a detective movie. Wait, this is a detective movie. I don't know what I'm saying. You know, it almost feels more like a kung fu movie rather than a detective movie. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that a lot of detective movies can have a few kung fu moments here and there, which, to be fair, in a nutshell, that's fine. But it almost feels like watching a kung fu movie. And just imagine if Jackie Chan made an appearance in this movie as one of the gang members. That would have been a neat cameo. But hey, sometimes we can't get what we want these days, if you know what I mean. So I think The Rising Sun is a fantastic murder mystery movie. And if you guys haven't seen this movie yet, go right ahead. I'm sure you guys can find a VHS and DVD or Blu-ray copy of this movie at a thrift store, Walmart, or Target. Or you can order the movie from Amazon, which that's a good idea in my opinion. So I'll give this movie 5 police sirens out of 5. Make sure you guys have a great evening, and make sure you guys obey the law, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh boy.